You're not family anymore. My husband said at my mother's funeral. Then the lawyer opened one final file. My name is Nicole Harper, and I'm 34 years old. I'm a wedding planner from North Carolina, which makes what happened to me almost impossible to believe. For years, I helped couples celebrate the happiest day of their lives. I organized flowers, music, seating charts, and every tiny detail that made a wedding feel special. My own life was much simpler. I wasn't rich. I didn't come from an important family. My parents worked hard and taught me that honesty mattered more than money. When I met Daniel, I believed I had finally found someone who shared those values. Everyone loved him. He was polite, calm, and always knew the right thing to say. My parents trusted him completely. My friends told me I was lucky. Looking back, I realized I ignored too many warning signs because I wanted our relationship to work. Every time he blamed someone else for his mistakes, I made excuses for him. Every time he acted controlling, I convinced myself he was just stressed. I wasn't rich or glamorous, but I had something they didn't expect. Years of working weddings taught me to notice details other people missed. That quiet habit would save me when everything fell apart. If you've ever trusted someone who later embarrassed you in front of everyone, I understand how deeply that hurts. Subscribe if you've ever had to rebuild after heartbreak. Tell me in the comments if you've ever ignored warning signs because you loved someone. Click hype or leave a like before we continue. Our wedding day began perfectly. The flowers arrived on time, the music sounded beautiful. My father smiled with tears in his eyes as he walked me down the aisle. I honestly believed I was about to begin the happiest chapter of my life. Then everything changed. Just before we exchanged our vows, Daniel stepped back. "I can't do this," he said loudly. The room became silent. He pulled several printed pages from his jacket. "She cheated on me," he announced. "I have proof." People gasped. He waved the papers toward our guests before I could even see them. "I've already shown these messages to several people," he continued. "I won't marry someone who lies." I stared at him. "What are you talking about?" I asked. He didn't answer. Instead, he turned toward the guests. "This wedding is canceled." His parents immediately walked to his side. His mother pointed at me. "You should be ashamed." Some guests quietly picked up their coats. Others whispered while looking at me with disappointment. My own parents looked completely confused. My mother kept shaking her head. "This can't be true," she whispered. Daniel looked at me again. "Leave before you embarrass yourself even more." I could have screamed. I could have cried. Instead, I stayed silent. As I walked toward the exit, I noticed the venue manager watching Daniel with an unusual expression. He quickly followed me outside. "Nicole," he said quietly, "please don't leave yet." I looked at him. "I think our security cameras recorded something important this morning." For the first time since Daniel humiliated me, I felt a small spark of hope. Over the next few days, my life became a nightmare. Photos from the canceled wedding spread across social media before I even returned home. People who hadn't spoken to me in years suddenly believed they knew the truth. Friends stopped answering my calls. Some even removed me from online groups. Daniel made everything worse. He contacted vendors and blamed me for the canceled wedding. He requested refunds from accounts we had shared and claimed I was responsible for every financial loss. Soon, I wasn't only heartbroken. My professional reputation was also at risk. Then his family joined in. They told relatives I had always been dishonest. People I had known for years began treating me differently. Still, something bothered me. Daniel had seemed prepared, almost rehearsed. It was as if he had planned every second long before our ceremony started. Then the venue manager called again. The cameras captured much more than we expected, he said. That didn't surprise me. What nobody knew was that reviewing security footage had become one of my unexpected skills. Expensive decorations sometimes disappeared during weddings I managed, so I had learned how to study timestamps, camera angles, and edited recordings. I knew how important original files could be. I immediately asked the venue manager to protect every recording. No copies, I told him. Keep the originals safe. Then I started gathering everything else: vendor emails, guest timelines, phone records, witness statements. I simply wanted the truth. Next, I called the woman who had first trained me as a wedding planner. Her name was Susan, and she had spent more than 30 years in the business. She listened without interrupting. Finally, she said, "Don't answer anyone publicly yet." "What if everyone believes him?" I asked. "They already do," she replied. "Now, let's give them something real to believe." Together, we reviewed every document. Susan contacted the venue manager herself. She insisted every original CCTV recording remain untouched. Meanwhile, Daniel acted more confident every day. He told everyone he had exposed me. His family celebrated as if they had protected him from making a terrible mistake. None of them knew what was waiting. A week later, Susan invited both families back to the venue conference room. Daniel arrived smiling. "This is pointless," he said. Susan simply nodded toward the large television. The first camera showed Daniel arriving early that morning. Then another woman walked inside. He handed her a folder. Inside were the printed screenshots he had shown our guests. Another camera recorded him telling one of his friends, "If Nicole says anything, tell everyone you already saw the messages." The room became completely silent. Daniel turned pale. "That's out of context," he whispered. The venue manager calmly answered, "These recordings are original. The timestamps haven't been changed." Susan explained exactly how every file had been preserved before anyone could edit them. Nobody spoke. My parents looked at me with tears in their eyes. Daniel's parents slowly lowered their heads. I reached into my purse, removed my engagement ring, and placed it on the conference table. "I deserve honesty," I said quietly. "I'm not marrying someone who built our future on lies." Then I walked away. It wasn't the ending I had dreamed about, but it was the beginning I truly needed. Months later, my business recovered. Vendors publicly supported me after learning the truth. Several guests apologized for judging me so quickly. I accepted their apologies, but I never forgot how easily people believed the worst without asking a single question. Daniel lost far more than a wedding that day. He lost the trust of everyone who mattered. As for me, I learned something I'll carry for the rest of my life. The right people won't ask you to prove your worth. They'll wait long enough to learn the truth.